So the collaborative competition is when people are in fact collaborating, but they're learning from each other, but they're trying to outdo each other. So what comes out of it, because this is all the public system, right, is some kind of a sense of mutual allegiance to people, giving and receiving help, but a little bit of an edge of I can do better, you can do better. So it's definitely not piecemeal, it's the opposite of that. And then another big feature we have in our work is to what I would call is play down accountability in favor of capacity building, and then re-enter accountability later, because if you lead with accountability, which most states do, people immediately are on the defensive and it doesn't work so well. Well, it takes leaders who are, first of all, instructionally focused. So the instructionally focused principle. It takes leaders on the same vein, people who I'm going to say appreciate and know the capacity building strategy. So they know at the school level it's professional learning communities, but this is like bigger than that. So they have to be good at collaboration, and then it takes I guess I'll say the confidence of collaborating outside your school, both in terms of what maybe you think, oh, I don't have much to offer, so I'll look poorly in the comparison, or somebody might steal our ideas or whatever. So you really have to have a confident leadership, which shows at the same time you're committed to a bigger entity than your narrow patch of the field. You're actually contributing to a bigger part. And I think that we've seen it in business, like Toyota, for example. They're quite open about sharing their so-called secrets. And when you look closely, you'll see, well, it's not like they don't have worries because nobody can steal their culture. You can steal surface ideas. And I think these principles, the leaders I'm talking about, realize that sharing is a way for them to get better because they'll learn more. Sharing is a way for them to contribute to the overall development. And because it's all within the public system, if the overall development gets better, everybody looks good. Parents are happier, politicians are happier, business community, people invest more in it. So it's kind of a cycle of success, I guess I'll describe. But people have to take the risk. You asked about the leadership quality. Mm-hmm. They have to be able to have the confidence and the risk to enter a bit of an unknown territory to give and receive this kind of help. And then once they get more experience in it, we call it system leadership. Once they get more experience in it, then they get good at it, and then it doesn't seem so daunting to do it, more of it. Well, I think they're a great catalyst and resource so that you can see it. One of the things I call it individual capacity building, but this is where you would contribute to aspiring new principals, such as the group that I'm working with. So in that way, you help districts feed the pipeline of new leaders. But that's not the end of the story for me. That's what I would call individual capacity. The other way you would do it is, it's collective capacity, because it really means that the districts have to start laterally learning from each other. So I can see Houston A+ being a catalyst for doing that, stimulating the districts learning and getting together. And then they can, at the same time, I think another way to look at it is if you have a good proactive superintendent out there, then I want that superintendent to see this organization as something that they could use to help their agenda. So instead of saying, how can we help you, superintendent, I want the superintendent to say, here's a resource I could use, and I'm going to be proactive about it. So in that way, the more you do this, the more that the group is wanting to use you, so that you've got it made because they're coming to you instead of the other way around only. There's a lot of specifics, I guess I'll say, but it is about, we've turned the Six Secrets book into a workshop. Mm-hmm. So the Six Secrets are, if I take the four core ones, they're about instruction, building up the instructional leadership. So how to use peers and how to develop collaborative cultures, how to develop capacity without being judgmental, how to make learning the work, where day after day the school is getting better. You're just not doing like workshops, you're actually improving on day after day. And the fourth one is transparency of data and practice. So I've been working with them all day long, sort of trying to get them in the mindset, okay, these are the 4 things I have to be good at, and I have to take all 4 of these and think about what my role would be and so forth. So that's kind of the core of what I've been doing, and each of the activities pushes them a little bit further to say, for example, what we were talking about a few minutes ago. I would say to them 2 things. For example, your role as an upcoming principal is, for example, number 1, not just to improve student achievement in your school, but to develop other leaders. And when you finish your tenure at a given school, you leave more leaders behind than you started with. So that's a specific thing for them to, and maybe they're only thinking of their what I would call their narrower role. And then secondly, I want to say to them, you're entering a new period where we're using a lot more networks. Therefore, you have to be good. You have to be committed to and good at giving help and receiving help from other schools in their cluster. And that's a widening of the role. It's the one you wouldn't think of when you just saw the role description. But actually, in the role description, even in our work, we are redoing districts are recasting the role description to cover the 2 things I just mentioned. That's part of this principal's responsibility and skill, and that's your job expectation, and we'll help you do it. We'll help you get better at it. So I've been pushing the group into the specificity and to the realization that they have the principal's role is increasingly important, and it's increasingly, I guess I say, sophisticated in some ways, but not like mysterious, but sophisticated, and that they really have to get better and better at doing this.